An interesting week in the world of vinyl. We'll talk about that next on the sound of Safe and Sound, Texas. Hello and welcome back. I'm David Bianco for the sound of Safe and Sound, Texas. This week I'm going to talk about the old good news, bad news situation. Some good news on a release that's coming out that nobody expected, and the bad news about things hitting your wallet and in a big, big way. So let's start with the bad news first and get it out of the way. Universal Music Group, or UMG, sent out an email to all of its dealers and people who sell vinyl and notified them of a price increase to take effect today, May 20th, of 2022. And this increase varied by title, but it could be as low as $1 to as much as doubling what the previous MSRP or street price of the album would be. Some of the examples, some of the Beatle albums are in this category, and they went from a mid $20 to a mid $30 range. So what this means is that when product is ordered by a record store, whoever buys it, they pay a certain price to a distributor or wherever they obtain it from, which is less than the MSRP of the actual title. So their cost is going to go up, and they then expect that the price then will be reflective in the market of the MSRP on the sticker that's on the album when you buy it at the retail unit, whether that's a mom and pop shop or whether that's through Amazon or whether that's through even big box like Walmart or Target. Now, the way this will work in many cases, but not all, is that probably current inventory is still labeled at the price that they were charging for it as of yesterday. So the point of this is if there's some records that are UMG related, and I'm going to provide a list to you, and you've been thinking about getting them, you might want to get them now. Like example, a few of those Beatle albums, like I mentioned, they're going up $10. So if you could buy them now, you're going to save yourself some money because in the weeks and months to come, as that stock is sold and replenished on the shelf, the price is going to go up to this new amount. Now, we all know inflation is high. I'm not going to get into all of the factors in the political, but we certainly know the cost of everything, food, gasoline, transportation. The cost of diesel gas is, over 5.50 a gallon here in the Dallas area. Fuel for the vehicles, 4.50 a gallon. National averages are even higher. And all of this trickles down into the economy. Things have to move, be shipped, those kind of things. PVC for vinyl is petroleum based, so there's going to be an impact in that market to what actually makes it. Paper is up, the products that are used for making the jackets. So, I mean, everything, ink is up, everything is up. Now, whether it's up enough to warrant that a $25 copy of Revolver is worth $35, I would argue that's a bit of a stretch. I think this is a combination of the market, and it's also the combination of the market of vinyl's popularity and taking advantage of that. So I think there's more to it than simply inflation because this is really fairly drastic. And the question is going to be, is this going to start to put the fire out? Is it going to affect people's desire to buy vinyl? It also asks the question, will it impact the used market in the sense of what a used record will be valued at going forward? It potentially could. I could see that happening. Secondhand sales of that could show an increase as well. The bottom line is we're stressed at all points. So buyer beware, but here there's a little bit of opportunity here in the next few days and early weeks to take a look at what's on the shelf locally near you or online, your favorite retailer. We've talked to some folks at BigLoveVinyl.com, Doug, and then NTXVinyl.com with GI Sanders, some people that we know that are great retailers, and I'm sure they're going to try to hold the line a bit as much as they can, but everybody's going to be impacted by that. Secondly, the good news is Mobile Fidelity or MoFi or MFSL or whatever you call them has made an announcement of coming out with an album that nobody expected, and so it's basically 40th anniversary of Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, and this is a half-speed master CBS back in the 80s that came out of it. But this is being released on a Mobile Fidelity one step, which is the very high-end audiophile version that they come out with for certain records and albums. I've got a few here. I'll pull one out here as an example. This is one that came out a few years back, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's called an Ultra Disc one step, and it's a super vinyl compound. And in this case, most of these come out as two albums to a single album, in the sense that if a record normally is one record, this is made in two, and then these are cut at 45 RPM. So instead of getting like 5, 6 songs on the side, you get 2 or 3, but those grooves are further apart and you get better sound quality because of that. In the case of Thriller, it is going to be released as one single album, and it is going to be cut at 33 RPM like a standard album. So it will be sequenced and cut the same way the regular Thrillers have been. Now, the other thing that's interesting, this is going to be limited edition. Most of the limited editions with these have been 5,000, 6,000, 7,500, 10,000 is I think the largest. This release is going to have a limited edition numbering on the package, but they're going up to 40,000, which is 4 times what they had for titles like Tapestry for Carole King, which was just released a few months ago. And the reason for this is this album sold over 27 million copies, so it is very popular. They expect the demand to be high. They do expect it to be sold out. So it's on pre-order right now, and it's going to come out in November of this year. They have a hard date for it, which is another rarity. They usually say TBD as to when it's going to come out, but it seems like they'd made an arrangement both with their pressing plant, which I assume is RTI still for this, and also with those manufacturing the materials for it, as well as Sony, who owns the license to this and who has given them the rights to make these 40,000 copies to come out on this hard date in November. I think it's November 18th of 2022. So those can be pre-ordered from MoFi.com or MusicDirect.com or your favorite retailer where you get MoFi. The only thing I will tell you, it's $100. The others that I just showed you, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, were $125 because they were 2 album. So that's kind of the norm. Mobile Fidelity has started to put out now a few one steps in single LP 33 RPM. They've announced those. Alan Parsons' iRobot is one that I recall off the top of my head. And there's a few others, and now this one, Thriller, by Michael Jackson. But I'm sure this is an excellent recording in the first place. I can't imagine how good it's going to sound on a one step. So if you do want to get one, I'd suggest you put in your pre-order. I will give you a hint, and that is that if you pre-order with Music Direct, they do not charge you until the album ships. You do give them a credit card number, but they don't charge you till it ships. With the others, they charge you at the time of order pretty much across the board. So just to let you know, if you can't take the hit right now, but you'd want one, and in November when it releases, you think, yeah, I'll be able to pick that up and handle the cost. Music Direct does offer that advantage. So this week, like I said, good news, bad news. One very unexpected positive is the announcement of Thriller on the one step. And another unexpected announcement on the negative side is this huge price increase by Universal. And we expect the other labels to follow to some degree or another. And again, if you can get out there and in the market, and again, I'm going to show you what labels are involved for Universal. Grab some titles while they're cheaper. That's all I can tell you. So for now, again, as always, I'd ask you to like this video and share it with your friends. Please subscribe also to the channel so you get notification of updates. Click on that bell and all to know about that. If you have any comments, leave them there. Any thoughts or ideas for future shows. But since these were two fairly high impact things that came out this week, I thought I'd make a special Safe and Sound news kind of a video for you to make you aware of them. It's a buzz in the industry. I'm certainly not the first or the last, but I did want to give you my input on it. So thanks for watching. And again, we're going to see whether the industry has burned any bridges based on this large increase in price and the impact it's going to have on the industry. We'll check it out and see as time goes on. But for now, this is David Bianco for the Sound of Safe and Sound, Texas. Goodbye, everybody.